The courtroom was hushed, a tense stillness gripping the air as 6-year-old Lily Harper stepped through the tall oak doors of the Augusta County Courthouse in Maine. Her small hand gripped the leash of Titan, a Belgian Malinois with a faint silver scar tracing his left flank, a mark from a past life of service. Every pair of eyes tracked the young girl as she moved toward the witness stand, her steps cautious yet resolute. Judge Evelyn Whitaker, a veteran jurist with decades of experience, leaned forward, her sharp gray eyes studying Lily with a careful intensity. She knew the entire case, a chilling attempted kidnapping that could lock a predator away for life, hinged on this child's fragile testimony. Lily, the sole witness to the crime, hadn't uttered a word since that terrifying day. Across the room, Daniel Kessler sat at the defense table, his face calm, almost self-assured. A 42-year-old data analyst with a mild-mannered demeanor, Kessler had been arrested after a neighbor's tip placed him at the scene of Lily's near abduction. His defense was airtight, no forensic evidence, no admission of guilt, and a witness who couldn't speak. His attorney had built a case around dismantling Lily's credibility, banking on her trauma-induced silence. But then, something shifted. As Lily settled into the witness chair, her hazel eyes locked onto Kessler's. Her fingers twitched in a subtle, practiced gesture, a silent signal honed during months of therapy. Only two beings in the room caught it, Titan and Judge Whitaker. Titan's response was immediate. His body stiffened, ears flicked forward, muscles tensing as if ready to spring. A low, resonant growl vibrated from his chest, his amber eyes fixed on Kessler with unyielding focus. The sound sent a ripple of unease through the courtroom. Whispers stirred among the spectators, a quiet buzz of curiosity and suspicion. This wasn't just a therapy dog reacting to his handler's stress. It was something visceral, instinctive. Judge Whitaker's gavel struck sharply, the sound cutting through the murmurs like a blade. "This court will take a 15-minute recess," she announced, her tone carrying an unusual edge. Prosecutor Rachel Morgan glanced at her, puzzled, but Whitaker's gaze lingered on Lily, who clung to Titan as if he were her anchor. Something pivotal had just occurred, and Whitaker needed to know what before the trial moved forward. As the courtroom cleared, Whitaker remained at her bench, her mind racing. She'd seen countless cases in her career, but never a therapy dog react with such conviction. What had Titan sensed, and what did it mean for the case? Outside in the corridor, Lily knelt beside Titan, her small hands buried in his fur. Her mother, Claire Harper, crouched beside her, brushing back Lily's wavy brown hair with unsteady fingers. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" she whispered. Lily didn't answer, but her grip on Titan tightened, her small frame pressed against his side. Detective Nathan Brooks, a weathered investigator with the Maine State Police, watched from a distance. With years of experience chasing predators, his instincts screamed that Titan's reaction was no coincidence. He approached Whitaker, keeping his voice low. "That dog knows something," he murmured. "I'd stake my career on it. He's seen Kessler before." Whitaker nodded, her expression grim. "Then we need to find out where." In the defense's private room, Kessler sat across from his attorney, Paul Warner. Alone, the calm facade cracked, revealing a flicker of unease. His fingers tapped restlessly against the table as he replayed the moment. The girl hadn't spoken, but the dog, that damn dog. He hadn't anticipated Titan being a factor, but now he saw the animal as a threat to his carefully constructed defense. "She knows," Kessler muttered under his breath. Warner raised an eyebrow. "What?" Kessler forced a tight smile. "Nothing," he said, but his mind churned. Titan could unravel everything. As the recess ended, Whitaker adjusted her robes, her instincts on high alert. She didn't believe in chance, and Titan's reaction felt like the key to unlocking the truth. The trial was about to take a turn, and she sensed the tide shifting. Before the silence, before the terror that stole her voice, Lily Harper was a bright, talkative child. At 6, she filled rooms with her laughter and endless questions, her hazel eyes sparkling with wonder. She loved adventure stories, her collection of seashell necklaces, and the way her father, Tom Harper, would pretend to be a pirate during their beach walks along the rocky Maine coast. Fear was foreign to her until that crisp autumn afternoon. It had been a perfect fall day. the air sharp with the scent of pine and salt from the nearby Atlantic. Claire Harper watched Lily from the porch of their coastal home in Camden, smiling as her daughter skipped across the yard, her yellow scarf fluttering. Tom was due back from his shift at the harbor in an hour, and Claire was planning a cozy dinner. It should have been a safe, ordinary day. At 4:17 p.m., her phone buzzed, a call from her cousin in Portland. She stepped inside for what she thought would be a brief chat. 5 minutes. That's all it took. When Claire returned, the gate was ajar. Her heart seized as she scanned the yard. Lily was still there, but not alone. A gray SUV idled at the curb, its rear door cracked open. A man knelt beside Lily, his voice smooth and coaxing. "I've got kittens in my car," he said, his smile disarming. "Special ones. They need a little girl to love them. Want to see?" Claire's world slowed, her scream tearing through the air. "Lily!" The man's head jerked up, his smile vanishing, replaced by a cold, calculating stare. He grabbed Lily's wrist, but she froze, her eyes wide as if fear had rooted her to the spot. Across the street, Henry Walsh, a retired fisherman, was walking his spaniel. His gruff voice boomed, "Hey, let her go!" The man hesitated, his grip loosening for a split second. Lily wrenched free and ran to her mother. Claire scooped her up as the SUV's engine roared, tires screeching as it sped off, leaving skid marks on the pavement. Lily didn't cry or speak. She only buried her face in Claire's coat, trembling. The police arrived within minutes. Detective Nathan Brooks, a seasoned investigator with a knack for cracking tough cases, took charge. "He fits the pattern," Brooks muttered, flipping through his notebook. 3 kids vanished in the last 2 years, all lured near their homes with promises of pets. His partner, Agent Mia Torres, knelt beside Lily. "Sweetie, can you tell me what he looked like?" Silence. Claire stroked Lily's hair, her voice shaking. "Honey, you're safe. Can you tell us anything?" Lily clutched her mother's sleeve but said nothing, her face blank, as if her voice had been erased. "She hasn't spoken since," Claire whispered, fear lacing her words. Torres exchanged a glance with Brooks. "Trauma-induced mutism," she said quietly. Brooks sighed. "Without her statement, we're thin on evidence. A gray SUV and a vague description could be anyone." Henry Walsh stepped forward, his weathered face set. "I got part of the plate, XJT. Brooks nodded. It was a start. In the weeks that followed, Lily withdrew completely. She stopped playing, refused to go near the beach, and flinched at passing cars. Nightmares plagued her, her small body jerking awake in silent terror. Claire and Tom tried everything: storybooks, her favorite blueberry muffins, her treasured shell collection. Nothing worked. The vibrant girl they knew was fading. One evening, Claire sat with Tom at their kitchen table, exhaustion etching her face. "The therapist suggested a therapy animal," she said softly. Tom rubbed his eyes. "You think it'll help?" "I don't know," Claire admitted, "but I'll try anything." That decision would change everything, because while Lily had lost her voice, there was someone who could still hear her: Titan. The air in Dr. Sarah Ellis's Coastal Paws Therapy Center smelled of lavender and wet fur. In a quiet room, Titan lay on a cushioned mat, his amber eyes tracking every movement. A former K-9 with the state police, he'd once been a star, sniffing out danger and saving lives. But a knife wound from a drug bust 3 years prior had left him scarred and partially lame, ending his career. Deemed unfit for service, he'd faced euthanasia until Dr. Ellis intervened. She saw potential in his sharp instincts and gentle demeanor, perfect for her trauma therapy program. Claire sat nervously, her hands twisting in her lap. Lily peeked from behind her, eyeing the large Malinois warily. Dr. Ellis knelt to Lily's level, her voice warm. "Hi, Lily. I'm Sarah. I work with special dogs who help kids who've been through tough things." Lily said nothing, her gaze flickering to Titan. He sat still, ears forward, his presence calm but alert. "Would you like to meet him?" Ellis asked. Lily didn't move, but she didn't retreat either. Ellis gestured to Titan. "Stay." The dog didn't flinch. "You don't have to come close, Lily. Titan will wait, but if you're ready, you can hold out your hand." After a long pause, Lily stepped forward, her hand trembling as she extended it. When Ellis nodded, Titan moved slowly, his warm breath brushing Lily's palm. Her fingers curled into his fur, and something shifted. Claire stifled a sob. It was the first time Lily had reached out since the incident. Over the next months, Lily and Titan became inseparable. At home, she'd sit by him, tracing his scar. When nightmares struck, his steady presence calmed her. She began sketching again, crayon drawings of a girl and a dog facing shadowy figures. One day in Ellis's office, Lily watched Titan fetch a ball. "Good boy," she whispered, so faintly Claire thought she'd misheard. But Lily's lips parted in surprise as if she'd shocked herself. Tears welled in Claire's eyes. It wasn't much, but it was a beginning. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as the trial began. Daniel Kessler sat composed, his attorney, Paul Warner, exuding confidence. Lily clutched Titan's leash, the dog alert at her side, his nose twitching as if catching a familiar scent. "All rise," the bailiff called as Judge Whitaker entered. She addressed the room. "Before opening statements, we'll hear arguments on the therapy animal's presence." Warner stood, his tone smooth. "Your Honor, while we sympathize, this dog's presence risks prejudicing the jury. A large Malinois could sway emotions unfairly." Rachel Morgan countered, "Your Honor, Lily is 6 and a trauma survivor with selective mutism. Titan is medically necessary to enable her participation." Whitaker's gaze was firm. "The dog stays." The prosecution laid out a chilling case. Kessler's pattern of predatory behavior, luring children with promises of pets. Henry Walsh testified, his voice steady as he recounted seeing Kessler grab Lily's arm. Lily sat silently, her fingers flexing on Titan's leash. When called to testify, she was led to the stand, Claire hovering protectively. Morgan spoke gently. "Lily, you don't have to talk. You can nod or shake your head. If you need a break, just let us know." Lily's breathing was shallow, but she nodded. "Can you tell us who was in your yard that day?" Lily hesitated, then pointed at Kessler. Warner objected. "The child was shown my client's photo repeatedly. This identification is tainted." Whitaker overruled. "The jury will decide credibility." Morgan continued. "Did this man say anything?" Lily didn't speak, but made her subtle hand signal. Titan reacted instantly, his ears snapping forward, a deep growl rumbling. The courtroom froze. Warner objected again, but Whitaker was watching Titan, whose focus on Kessler was unwavering. A thought struck her. "Ms. Morgan, has this dog encountered the defendant before?" Morgan frowned. "Not to my knowledge, Your Honor." Whitaker turned to Kessler. "Mr. Kessler, have you met this dog?" His fingers clenched, but he stayed silent. Morgan's eyes widened as a realization hit. She whispered to her team, and an assistant hurried out. "Your Honor," Morgan said, "I request a brief recess. New evidence may have surfaced." Whitaker nodded. 15 minutes. As the room cleared, speculation swirled. Had Titan recognized Kessler? The answer would change everything. The prosecution team moved quickly. Soil samples from Kessler's SUV matched a remote cabin in the Maine woods. Brooks, sensing Titan's reaction was key, insisted the dog join the search. By midday, the team reached the cabin, its weathered exterior cloaked in silence. Titan reacted first, his nose twitching, body rigid as he growled at the door. "This place is off," Brooks muttered. Inside, they found a hidden trapdoor under a rug. A staircase led to a damp basement where they discovered children's items, teddy bears, tiny sneakers, a faded blue backpack, and in the corner, a chained girl, Sophie Grant, 7, missing for 8 months. Her voice was weak but clear. "Help!" Titan whined, straining toward her. Brooks freed her, carrying her to safety. Back in court, Sophie's rescue electrified the room. Morgan presented the evidence. Soil matching Kessler's SUV, his DNA on the chains, Sophie's testimony. "Mr. Kessler," Morgan said sharply, "how do you explain a kidnapped child in a basement linked to you?" Kessler faltered, his composure cracking. Then Titan growled again, stepping toward him, hackles raised. Kessler flinched, his face pale. "I want to change my plea," he whispered. Gasps filled the room. "Are you pleading guilty?" Whitaker asked. Kessler nodded. "Yes." Kessler was sentenced to life without parole, his crimes exposed. But the true heroes were Lily, who found her courage, and Titan, who never wavered. Days later, Lily spoke again, holding Titan's face. "Thank you," she whispered. Claire and Tom wept, knowing their daughter was returning. As Titan nuzzled her, tail wagging, it was clear some bonds could withstand any darkness.